we are, finally. Can you guys feel it? We're reaching the very end of the Bartholomew Kuma flashback. And I am loving every single chapter and every single panel. No matter how painful it is, Kuma has been established as one of the greatest characters to ever exist. Coming from the literal trenches all the way to becoming a father, a priest, a king, a pirate, a warlord, everything. We pick up right where we left off, where Vegapunk and Kuma are making a deal and Saturn's listening in. And Saturn says, okay, you guys can have your little deal, but I'm going to have to cut myself into this situation. When we open up with the chapter, seeing Borsalino sitting down, looking like a gangster. This dude is straight up out of a mafia movie, looking like he's in Goodfellas or something. I know exactly what he's missing, and I know for a fact that you guys were thinking it too. That little gap between his index finger and his middle finger fits for a cigarette, and you cannot tell me that Kizaru is not a smoker. And Kizaru turns his back and says basically, hey man, you got to have a conversation with Saturn. This guy's telling me that if you're going to cut a deal, you got to cut a deal with me included. And he's like, listen, you can fix your baby girl, you can do whatever you want, but if you're going to do these, I have 3 conditions. And the 3 conditions you may not like. First, you have to be turned into a warlord, which by far is one of the better conditions, comparing it with the other monsters too. The second one is actually becoming a robot, not a cyborg. No, a robot, a mindless, obeying robot that is basically going to be used for widespread murder. And then we have finally the most important one, which basically did it with the robot, but he's saying you have to agree to give up your free will and sense of individuality. Can't pronounce that. But this is basically like something satanic. He could have just did it with the robot, but what he's doing here is actually crazy. He's saying free will. And who do we know that basically stands up for free will all around the world? Correct me if I'm wrong, but is it none other than Luffy, a.k.a. Nika, a.k.a. that dude? And even at that point, Vegapunk is like, yo, I don't know who signed you up for this, but I'm not going to do this. You gotta know, bro, this guy's basically killing everything. Once you turn into a cyborg or from a cyborg to a robot, you're basically done. That's equivalent to killing somebody for no reason. And then he's like, take it or leave it. If you want to save your baby girl, then you got to accept all 3 of these conditions. And you know what the crazy part is that Kuma's willing to accept it. He's saying, I'm so grateful and I'll happily accept any fate so long as Bonnie is cured. You can basically slap him, destroy him, throw him into the sea. And you know what he'll say? He'll say at the very end, is Bonnie okay? Tell me that is not Father of the Year. No. I take that back. Not the father of all of One Piece. Dude is seriously more of a father than Dragon was to Luffy, Usopp was to Usopp, and basically everyone else. I don't know who's a better father than Kuma in real life too. And even Vegapunk is like, yo, Kuma, are you sure about this? And Borsalino puts his hat down. He's like, sheesh. You can take everything, but you're going to take dude's free will away from him? That's just cold, even for me. And I'm a sociopath. By the way, like there's so many heartwarming scenes when you compare it to what's eventually going to happen. It's like you see Kuma laughing, smiling, enjoying his life with Bonnie, but we don't know Kuma as that. We just know Kuma as the dude who is a robotic, mindless killer. And that's crazy, like, when you compare one with the other. Saturn basically at that point asks him, like, how long is this going to take? Vegapunk says 6 months for Bonnie and then probably 2 years. He cuts one last deal and he's like, yo, all you have to do is give me your guarantee that Bonnie will be okay forever. And they're basically, yeah, as long as, we're around. It doesn't matter where she is. We got tabs on her. And I actually remember, like, there's this, like, really important scene way back. It was after the Marineford battle. And I believe Akainu went to Bonnie after the Blackbeard pirates had done their little, jumping shenanigans. Pulled up and he was like, it made me sick when I learned that you had escaped. I wonder what that means, because did she escape? Who did she escape from? And if she's on the church, how did she get out? You know, it's a lot of stuff that I actually have questions about surrounding that. And it actually goes to show how much Oda had foreshadowed this. And there it is. We see Bonnie getting cured and Kuma at the very same time being robotically transported, transfigured. I don't know what the exact way it is. How can you possibly describe this? You're basically turning him into a robot. You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of Frieza. When he came back and he was like half robot, he was like, okay, I'm about to do this. And just got beat up by Trunks with a sword. That shit was actually crazy. And it's so adorable how like they're all sitting together with Vegapunk, Senamaru, Bonnie, Kuma, and Kizaru are just sitting down and they're eating pizza. And in the weirdest way possible, they're boogieing it down like with the silhouette of Nika. Isn't that crazy? I don't know how the hell they put, like, what is Oda thinking? Like, all 5 of these guys are, by the way, in the modern day together, fighting together on Egghead Island, but with the one clear difference that Luffy is there with them. Like, I don't, like, this is, like, way foreshadowing. If he had showed us this before, that would have been crazy. But the fact that this was foreshadowed in the universe itself, that is wild. After Bonnie is cured, she is sent back to the church and she is received by all the villagers and by the Queen Dowager named Connie, who I still believe is related to her. And he leaves her and he's like, you know what? Thank you so much. I appreciate everything that you've been here. And by the way, we see Cypher Pole pop up with an attractive nurse. I don't know. Like, how am I supposed to like dislike Cypher Pole when they look like this? And Cypher Pole basically threatens like a child's life is such a fragile thing. Basically, we have her as a hostage, bro. You better act right or we're going to do some funny business. That's not so funny. And then basically like, yo, I'll see you later. And then the news hits the world. Everybody's getting this newspaper that the infamous tyrant king known as Bartholomew Kuma is now a warlord of the seas. And everybody's receiving this news. You see Crocodile with Robin. You see Dofi saying, oh, what is this tyrant? And it's like another villain. We even see Ace telling Blackbeard, Whitebeard, Marco, and Jinbei, like, yo, isn't this crazy? They wouldn't need a replacement if you hadn't done what you did and killed the former warlord, who is unnamed and we don't know about. And I'm very interested to see who it could have been. And then we see, obviously, Bo Hancock saying, yo, this doesn't really concern me. I don't care. I'm never going to show up to these meetings unless my dear Luffy is around. In the craziest way possible, we see Kuma landing on Fuchsia Village and taking orders. I don't know what he's going to do, but I think he's actually going to like meet Luffy and Luffy's not going to know who he is. And I just hope that the next week we get one of the craziest chapters ever and that I don't know what's happening. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm curious to see if anyone knows, but I cannot wait. And I am so happy that we do not have a breakneck streak. Oh my God. I was expecting a breakneck streak. We haven't had like 3 weeks in a row in a long time. So I'm very thankful for this. I appreciate it, Oda. And I appreciate you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys thought down below. Everything that's happening is crazy. I'm pretty sure you guys agree. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you haven't already, like the video. That would be greatly appreciated. Shouts out to you guys.